Hello, here's the deal with autism at Lehigh. I'm Rooster Demotte. Today I interviewed Osmar, a sophomore at Lehigh. He discussed his first years in college and how his autism diagnosis changed his experience between freshman and sophomore year. Hello everyone, my name is Rooster. I am a senior here at Lehigh University. My favorite color is yellow, and my favorite animal is the cuttlefish. I'm here with Osmar. Osmar, you would like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Osmar Salgado. I am a second year mechanical engineering student here at Lehigh. My favorite color is purple, and my favorite animal is the peacock.
And Osmar, would you tell us what disability experience are you coming to us with today?
I'm mainly going to be talking about my perspective as a student with ADHD and autism.
So you've been here for 2 years. Why did you choose Lehigh of all the colleges?
I chose Lehigh because I was part of a program called Emerge, and they're based in Houston, where I'm from. And part of their goal pretty much is to get first gen low income, I think also minority students into competitive schools across the country. And I wanted to go to a school that was out of state because I felt that I wouldn't be very happy in if I had just stayed home or in state rather.
That's a
um,
very good option. I say that being someone who went to a school 5 minutes from my house.
mhm.
But getting more into the focus of our episode, would you be all right telling us what disabilities you've come into Lehigh with?
So I came into Lehigh at first undiagnosed. Well, actually, that's technically not true. Um, I am. I came into Lehigh with ADHD and autism, which was, again technically diagnosed at the time. Yeah, I've been diagnosed since about 2019, but I hadn't actually known about that. I hadn't actually known about that properly until years later in, I believe, 2024. So,
Is it something like your doctor put it on your sheet, but they didn't tell you?
uh, it's more so that I just didn't have access to my medical records at the time.
Mm.
So,
I had a similar thing happen to me with OCD.
oh really?
She put it on my document, didn't tell me. And it took me like 3 years, and I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, so you came into Lehigh. I mean, you've always lived with these
Yeah.
situations, but you came into Lehigh with a diagnosis that you didn't realize until 2024.
Yeah.
So kind of knowing what you know now with your diagnosis, what do you think were the big things that impacted your college experience living with those things?
I came into Lehigh into an entirely new environment, rather, far away from home, and I didn't know this at the time, but that really does a number on someone who's been used to, the routines of living at home and then going to school close to home, and then doing whatever I got to do at school, and then but then college comes around and all that gets thrown away, and
Hmm.
and I'm left here pretty much alone to pick up the pieces and figure out what I need to do. Um, and that was and then that was quite an adjustment that I wasn't not very much not ready for. And I had to pretty much live on my own. I had to survive.
Did you have a roommate when you came in for the
I
first year?
did.
Did you think that helped, or was that scary?
I would say that was also kind of scary because even though for a good chunk of my life I'd shared a room with my older brother. He at some point he did leave to go to college out of state as well, which is actually part of my inspiration for going out of state as well. But living with a stranger I don't really like it very much because it just feels extremely awkward,
Intrusive almost.
intrusive. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't have a roommate my freshman year because I just knew I would be way too anxious, and I'm a big slob. You would say that it was a little nerve-wracking going out of state, but it's
yeah,
something you really wanted to do, right?
yeah,
So you're coming today to really talk about your freshman year experience, right?
yeah.
So tell me, what's the most memorable thing you think about your freshman experience socially?
Socially was totally isolated from almost totally isolated from everyone because I felt like I didn't really fit in. I was and well, still am pretty awkward, socially awkward, um, and I don't know how to really engage in conversations, start conversations for that matter either. And I during my freshman year, I only really had one friend on campus. Like everyone else I talked to was people from back home, pretty much.
Yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a struggle to make friends. You felt really awkward. How did you feel like on a day-to-day basis, emotions wise? Were you nervous? Were you just kind of getting through it?
I would say I was mostly just getting through it. I did my best to try to block out some of the nervousness from my system in regards to just being social, and I mainly just focused on the school aspect of living on living on campus.
Yeah, so you just really went into academics to.
Yeah, that was what I thought was my forte.
So yeah, on the side of academics, because this is a really important part of being at college. Crazy.
Yeah.
Do you think that the shift from high school to college in terms of schooling was that easy for you?
I thought it would be easy, but absolutely not. It wasn't.
Yeah. What was the hardest part? Do you think?
It was just finding the time to really sit down and do work.
Mm,
Um, because how I had managed a school from that before that point was I'd mostly breezed through like through school in the past.
same. Yeah.
Um, I was I was quote unquote gifted. Um,
Whatever that means.
whatever
Yeah.
yeah whatever that means. I say that with a little bit of scorn in my voice.
Yeah.
But I really just wasn't prepared to actually sit down and have to study.
Hmm.
Because that wasn't exactly something that I felt like was entirely necessary for me.
Yeah.
Because
Same.
I felt
Absolutely.
yeah. Um, because I thought that everything just kind of came naturally to me.
Yeah. Absolutely. I totally agree. I never ever studied in high school or middle school. I mean, why would you study in middle school?
Yeah.
Um, but coming into college, completely floored by learning new things.
Yeah.
Um, but what was something that was surprisingly easy? Do you think?
Easy. Um, I don't know exactly. I can't really remember if anything was really that easy.
Everything was pretty difficult.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it all felt really difficult and just
Yeah.
like borderline impossible.
Yeah. So it was a rough start with struggling with social stuff and then like whole new sphere of academics. So how did you sort of cope with all this new break in routine?
Well, for one, I played a lot of video games.
Well, that is
Yeah.
just fine.
Yep. Yep. Well, it's fine to a point. You know. There was a point in during my first year where I was spending more time playing video games with my friends rather than doing schoolwork.
Or socializing in
Yeah, or
person.
socializing. Yeah,
hmm
yeah,
Yeah, so you had that vice, but it felt like it was overwhelming
yeah.
sometimes. Yeah.
And I also mostly stuck to my previous friends from from home. I was mostly talking to them more, um, through texting or video calls or Discord, whatever.
Yeah, yeah. I mean that love for routine and similarity is very common in autism. And I have to say that I don't definitely experienced that too freshman year of just the like fear of branching out, and also that intense loneliness from not branching out.
Yeah.
Um, so it seems like freshman year was pretty scary for you. Do you think anyone on campus really helped you get through that?
I never really sought help. That's the thing because I I also have trouble just asking for help in
Mm.
general. Whether it be for um asking questions during lectures or asking questions to my professors during office hours, which I never went to office hours during my first year. Um,
Big regret there?
yeah, big regret, absolutely big regret. um, and yeah, no, I mostly just thought I could tough it out. I could just get through it, but no, evidently that doesn't really work.
You should never tough it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So you really struggled to reach out for help just because you felt like this is normal, this is what I gotta go through? Or
Yeah, and also just yeah, yeah, pretty much.
yeah. Yeah, I totally get that. And I feel like a lot of students who are autistic or who have ADHD are probably really agreeing with you on this.
Yeah.
Do you think your neurodiversity helped you in any way in college?
Um, so I don't think I can really pinpoint certain areas where it was like really helpful. If anything, it was, I guess, more helpful in, in, I guess, keeping me unfocused and distracted from what I needed to do.
Mm.
Um, I have more, um, I have more passion for doing things I like. Um, actually, now that I say that, I did enjoy writing. I did enjoy my writing class, and like for a time at least, because there came a point where I actually just stopped attending classes, and I ended up failing the class. um, but for a time, I did enjoy writing and planning out what I was going to write about. But I'm not entirely sure that I can really um, point in my neurodiversity for passion, which I tend to be very passionate about the things I like.
So you more associate it with distracting you and making you feel shy, and then you find your passion separate from that.
Honestly, n- no, because there is there is a whole meme about autistic people being into trains,
Yeah,
and like my special interest is aviation, and
I can tell by your shirt.
yes,
For you guys wondering, there's a shirt on Osmar right now that says "War is bad, but planes are rad," and
I made
that
it myself, by the way.
you made it yourself. Did you use Wilbur Lab?
Yeah, I did.
I have to use that. I have a shirt I have to
I
make.
work there actually.
You work there.
Yeah,
Awesome. Well, if you want to go see Osmar, he's in Wilbur Lab.
but yeah, aviation is my pretty much my special interest, and I had leveraged that as um the reason why I wanted to go into my major, which is mechanical engineering, um, and because I wanted to work in the future. I wanted to, well, still want to work in some area of engineering that will involve working with aircraft or aerospace for that matter.
So you really came to Lehigh to embrace your fascination with aerospace and planes. Do you feel like you've gotten to explore that interest here in your first 2 years?
Well, I don't think I've gotten far enough yet.
Mm-hmm.
So, but but I feel like I'm getting there.
You've got to get through the core classes first before you get
Yeah,
to do the fun plane stuff.
yeah, of course.
But do you feel like your classes are preparing you for that?
Um, I would say I am aware that engineering and involves a lot of math, and math is hard, and also just horrible to look at, especially engineering math, which is
More
it's a lot of calculus. It's a lot of don't let it dissuade you. If if it's something that you want to do, but you just got to know what you're getting into.
Yeah. So did you find, so you talked about really enjoying writing. Do you find that you were more writing focused and less inclined to math?
I would say that I was more inclined to math, honestly.
You like math more? It's just the calculus sucks.
Yeah, pretty much. um, I do enjoy writing to a to a point.
So you enjoy math and it's difficult, but you think it's worth it to be able to continue with your passion there, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know freshman year can be pretty difficult, but I mean, you're going into an engineering college. Did you find that there were people like you in your major?
I would say yeah. There are a few people that are. I, anytime I hear planes into conversation, my ears just kind of perk up.
Yeah, and you just
um,
want to butt right in.
yeah, pretty much. But I have met like a few people like that.
It doesn't even have to be like planes. It can just be like people who are passionate about engineering, and maybe a little autistic
Hmm.
themselves. Did you find that it was comforting to be around people like that?
Yeah. I mean, there's there's comfort in shared struggles.
Yeah, so it really does seem like, despite calculus and friendships and all the complex calculations you have to do there, you do seem to find some passion in what you're doing, right?
Yeah,
So you certainly don't regret coming to college.
I don't regret it. Yeah.
Yeah. So freshman year was particularly difficult for you. Do you think you got any easier going into sophomore year?
Um, I would say it got a little easier, but that's only because of what had happened between my first year and my second year, and it's a it's a bit of a doozy. I'll say that much.
Do you want to go into it?
Yeah, of course, because it's very important to what I'm talking about. Because okay, so I want to start off with saying that I am class of 27. I'm supposed to graduate next year, but again, I've mentioned that I'm a sophomore. So how can that be possible? Well, um, in 2024, and during the second semester of my first year, during the spring semester, I actually took a leave of absence um, from the university as a whole, and I went back home. Um, and what had happened leading up to that was I finished off the first semester rather well, not rather, but very unsatisfyingly. I finished it um, wanting to be done already. I was burnt out. I had already dropped a class, and I knew I already and I knew I failed another, which is really should not have happened. But I went into second semester, um, just completely out of it, completely burnt out. I wanted to be out already, and my mental health was not doing that very well. I was not doing so great there. I I I went to the first day of classes. I did, but then after that, I was just I'm done. I don't want to go to any more classes. I'm done. I'm just gonna sit in my dorm. I just sit in my dorm forever now. Not go to classes.
Mhm.
Screw that. Obviously that's you really should not do that. um, that really only it was basically just a feedback loop um of poor grades affecting my mental health, which in turn led to me not going to classes, which in turn led to worsening mental health
And the
and
guilt
and
and
the
yeah.
guilt, shame, all that.
Mhm.
Like I really did not want to have to confront it pretty much. Um, s- I was um I was going through it for like a whole month and a half, pretty much. And I realized, well, I didn't realize by myself. Um I actually had help from one of my family members, my brother, my older brother. He helped me realize that okay, I need to do something, and I probably the only option left is to considering that my mental state and how far along the semester I was already at, that's the best choice was just to le- just take a break, leave of absence, come home, and that's what I ended up doing. I came home, you know, defeated pretty much.
Mm.
Yeah, like it was rock bottom for me at that point. Um, which
Yes.
like being here now, it feels surreal to say honestly. Um,
You never thought you'd be back.
I mean, well, I knew I would be back, but I just didn't know what the timeline for that would be at the time.
Mhm.
Um, I came home in March 2024, and for the next year and a half, from yeah, from that month to August of 2025, I beginning the fall of 2024, I started going to a community college back home to take classes to try to recuperate some of the credits that I didn't get during my first year, my first semester, and my second semester. Um, I took I took a physics class, I took a writing class, and I took another writing class to make up for those credits. And I was actually able to get those transferred to Lehigh, which I'm very glad about because I really did not want to take those classes again. So my journey back home was, well, yeah, my journey on the path back to Lehigh after coming home was, it was a rough one, but I knew what I needed to do. I was talking to my advisor um a lot during that time, helping me figure out what I wanted to do, what I need to do, what forms I need to fill out, that kind of stuff, what classes I should take. And I was doing all that all while I was getting the proper treatment for my for my brain,
Yeah, so that year and a half off, um, burnout is just awful,
Yeah.
and I think that I mean, clearly you are doing so much better now. So that year and a half really saved your life.
hmm
Um, and you got medicated, I assume, in that time, or
I did, yeah. I did have I did get a psychological evaluation done, um, and I got properly diagnosed. uh,
yes,
yes, and I could actually see those results,
yeah,
um, which um, and it's thanks to that evaluation that I got accommodations as well, which if you have a form like that, if you have had testing done like that, and you have stuff like ADHD, autism, that those sort of conditions, then you should absolutely, absolutely get accommodations because say they will save your life as they saved mine.
so worth it.
Yeah.
Yes,
And I do want to I do want to talk about my my accommodations for a little bit. So I do have extended time for tests, which 1.5 times, and proctor testing, which it's you take the test in a different room pretty much. Those accommodations have absolutely saved my skin, and I also did get single room for housing, which is
Awesome.
also great because I don't got to deal with a roommate.
Lifesaver, honestly.
Absolute lifesaver. So
So you have time and a half on tests, room and alone. Is there anything else accommodations wise you've gotten?
those are, there is technically also air conditioning in my room, but like that's also just not really that important.
It's a human right, in my opinion.
That's a human right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know how Lehigh can just have rooms without air conditioning.
I lived in since my freshman
Oh, I
year,
did too. Yeah.
the swamp.
Ugh.
Yes, if you can get an air conditioning accommodation, it's worth it. And I know that they're doing some renovations. They're going to loop around the school in the next couple of years. But yeah, incoming freshmen, buy some fans, get the air conditioning accommodation if you can. It gets into hundreds for like a week in August, and it's just
Oh man.
terrible. Yeah. So you really got kind of a restart with sophomore year, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Big refresh. I'm doing things differently, very differently now. I know what I'm getting into now. Um, and do have like the proper backing from my family. Well, I did have backing from my family back then, but I wasn't really communicating with them a lot during my first year, and that's also like a big issue as well.
Mm.
Please communicate with your family a lot. Um, try to. I talk to I talk to my mom, like try to talk to my mom at least once every day. Very important to your psyche.
I talk to my mom every day, but I also live with her, so
Yeah.
that's pretty easy. But yeah, so you say you really restarted college with diagnosis, accommodations, a few community college credits, which honestly, guys, if you are doing bad at Lehigh, like with physics or math courses, you can easily take a community college. And like Osmar said, worth it to go take community college credits. Lehigh directly transfers all credits from Northampton in towards of core courses, but if you're not from around here,
Yeah, that's going to be a bit of little differently because I do recall taking I took a calculus 2 class in community college that I did try to transfer over, but they didn't accept it mainly because we didn't go over differential equations over there, so they didn't accept it on that basis. And I also tried to transfer over an economics class, which the economics department flat out has the policy saying you cannot transfer in from a outside for economics 1, eco 1. You cannot transfer in from a community college. Just they just have that policy for some reason.
yeah, so do check with your college. I
Of
know
course.
I passed Econ 1 with a 7.0,
Oh,
so
ooh.
I barely made it. Oh, gosh. So I barely made it. So yeah, a community college credit can really save you. And again, you emphasized the importance of getting those accommodations, as frustrating as the process can be. What was your process like getting accommodations?
For the first time, you have to submit you basically kind of have to go over why you want those accommodations. I went in depth on mine. No, what struggles I was facing without those accommodations, pretty much, and you also turn in documentation for your disabilities, pretty much. Proof. You know. Oh yeah, and there was also like a sort of interview where that you got to go through with disability services, DSS, where you basically kind of have to petition for the accommodations that you want, pretty much.
Were they nice?
Yeah, they were fairly nice. It is hard to have to do the things yourself, but I mean, I got through it. I survived. I'm pretty happy about it, you know.
So
So
it's a little scary, but it is worth it.
it's absolutely worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to say my disability accessibility experience is a little difficult because I have some physical
Hmm.
disabilities, and physical disabilities are a little bit harder to work through
Yeah.
with disability services. But I'm really glad that you had a good experience getting through that, especially because you have the most common disability at Lehigh, which is ADHD,
Yeah.
which makes sense because we're engineering college. So neurodiversity plays well with
Yes.
engineering.
Absolutely.
How do you think your emotional health improved with your accommodations and your diagnosis?
overall, I just felt more confident in my abilities to in my ability to succeed pretty much.
Mm.
I was happier. I knew I wasn't. I mean, I knew I was gonna get. I wasn't gonna be as frustrated as before. Things were gonna be easier to manage. Um, yeah, emotionally, it's just it's all easier to manage pretty much. Pretty
Yeah.
and
You've
all.
got the steering wheel now. So if you could pick one thing that really secured your success here, what would you say it is?
The fact that I started that semester with 12 credits,
With
the
12
the bare
credits.
minimum for full time status. But I believe that was probably the best uh, decision I could have made for that semester because if I'd done any more, um I probably wouldn't have been um as successful in managing my time. Again, I was just coming in after a long time,
Mm.
so it kind of made sense to start with a little less, pretty much, with just kind of ease back into the swing of things.
Yeah, so starting slow was really important.
Yeah, I got to dictate things at my own pace, pretty much, and yeah, that also is very important for me is knowing that I am in control and I can do things at my own pace because if I have to do things, you know, either like super fast, then that gets hard really quickly, and I can't really handle that very much. The- I just don't work well under pressure, pretty much.
So yeah, really taking that time for yourself was so important. Um and I mean, I can see you're talking to me right now. You come to our club meetings when you can. Uh do you think that your social life has improved?
Yeah, absolutely. I can confidently say that I have friends here, um, that I talk to fairly regularly. And I'm amicable with, friendly, all that. I last semester I did go. I took I took a little trip with two friends to Raising Cane's because that was just something we wanted to do. It's made me feel healthier pretty much.
Yeah. And you've realized that it's not so scary to get out there and hang out with people.
Yeah, and that another thing that's helped me with that is that I've actually joined some clubs.
You want
A
to list
lot.
them?
Um, I did join. Okay, so we have a aerospace club. Mm, yeah, it's LU Aero. We have a gaming club here, the Lehigh Video Game Community Club. Yeah, we just had a club meeting yesterday, last night. We played a bit of a Resident Evil Requiem.
Oh.
Yeah. I got to play a little bit. I got a little scared.
Yeah.
um, the Neurodiversity Club, that you're a part of, Rooster,
I am
or the
the
founder. I mean,
I'm the president. I'm not the
president.
founder,
Oh,
but I
founder,
am the
president.
president.
Yeah.
So we've got Aerospace Club, Gaming Club, the Best Club, Disability Neurodiversity
Still
Club.
Oh yeah, the History Club that I also joined.
So would you say joining clubs has really helped you socialize?
Yes, absolutely, because it's given me a chance to really to meet new people and put myself out there. I will give credit to the gaming club for having presentation nights from time to time. We've had 3 presentation nights so far, and I've taken part in all 3 of them, and I've gotten to talk about something that gaming is also one of my passions. So I like talking about it, and I could totally just derail this conversation and just talk about gaming for no reason. But I'm not going to do
This is
that.
not a gaming
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
podcast. I'm sorry, everyone.
yeah. But yeah, I getting to talk about what I like is definitely gotten me to. It's gotten me to open up more and
Yeah. So you found that really connecting through your, I would say, special interests and passions has helped you kind of foster a community on campus.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I will say I do love a good presentation night. We do those a lot at Lehigh. I do a couple when I can with the disability club, as busy as we are. So yeah, your second year just sounds like you're really flourishing here at Lehigh, and I'm really happy for you for that. So I guess I would ask you, what advice do you think you would give to someone who's thinking about coming to Lehigh who has similar brain to you?
Do a lot of research on what college life is like, because it is very different from what high school is like. High school, you're kind of just going to classes, doing homework, whatnot. Maybe a project here on the side. Um, if that's being asked of you, but um, and I mean you can kind of just breeze through it without too much hassle. Um, especially if you're academically quote unquote gifted. Again, you're using that word again.
We are the gifted kids, and look at us now.
Yeah, but but when you're going into college, you have to know that that it's very different. That you're actually going to have to you got to make time to really sit down and think about like what you're going to do. Like, make a schedule first of all. Make a schedule of your classes. At the bare minimum of do that, um, at least. And if if you're more advanced, then you can make a calendar where you have your classes, but you also have designated times where you of studying, working on classes, or working on homework. It's a lot of time organizational skills that we are unfortunately just do not really have a lot of.
Yeah, you're
Um,
kind of expected to know them from the start, and
yeah,
we're like, I've never had to.
yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, join clubs, please. Um,
And I'll tell you what, it's very hard to find a club that doesn't exist at Lehigh. And we have club fairs once a semester.
at the very beginning of each semester.
Yes. And it's huge every year. They're packed.
Yeah,
So if you're a little bit icky about sensory stuff, maybe you don't like being around that many people all at once, you don't have to go to the club fair to see all the clubs. You can just look them up. There's a
yeah,
big list online. But yeah, so just to review, absolutely join your clubs, uh, make a schedule, keep that rigidity, and make study times for yourself.
yeah,
Um, I like those ideas. I have a friend who has a shared calendar with people who are in classes with her so that they can specifically work on stuff at the exact same time because she knows she won't do it otherwise.
hmm
And I think that's such a smart idea.
In regards to socializing, you got to try to find your community pretty much. Like if you're a minority, we got a lot of culture clubs.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I am part of a club called Fuerza Mexicana. That's a Mexican culture club, and because I am Mexican as well. If you're a first gen student, first in your family to go to college, we do have a program called it's called Lucy. It stands for Lehigh University Student Scholars Institute. I mean, you got to apply to get into it, but I mean, I did it before. I did it before I went into college, and I got in. Had to do like a little pre-orientation before the actual orientation. Um, but I mean, it was a good time. I I remember we did have a sort of talentless show. We went on stage to basically perform. I actually did one. I sang um Country Roads or Take Me Home Country. I forget the name.
It's Country Roads. Yeah, you're
Uh, um yeah, I sang that rather terribly, but like um but yeah, that is a thing we do have here at Lehigh. Just in general, try to find your your people pretty much.
right. Yeah, I know I definitely struggled with that freshman year. Um, I was very club averse, and I do hop into the group me every so often. But I find that my schedule gets so busy. But yeah, you don't even have to attend the meetings to feel involved. You can just text in the group chat and say hi to the people
Yeah.
on the road. avoid the Lehigh look away, as they say. The Lehigh look away is a term we use for people who don't like to make eye contact with the people they know on the street. It's pretty common at Lehigh. We are all very shy introverts, I guess.
I've never heard of it until now.
You haven't heard of it? It's. I think it's something upperclassmen my freshman year came up with. But I'm glad that it's disappearing, because I do hate, as much as I avoid eye contact in conversation, I hate having to look away and not wave at people.
I mean, you can always just say hi to the people you know. Even if it's in just completely random situation. Could be in the UC, and you see someone who's like, hey, what's up? You just wave at them. At least do that. Just smile and wave.
Makes people remember that they exist in this world.
Yeah.
And that you care about them. So I guess this is the most important question I can ask, because this is a podcast about disability. Overall, how do you think Lehigh has handled ADHD and autism for you?
It's hard for me to really complain, because it's easy, because it's just easier for me to just accept like whatever's happening. So again, I just can't really come up with a specific complaint that I would have for Lehigh's DSS, Disability Support Services. I think they've been pretty gracious. Again, my experience, if more than likely not going to reflect anyone else's experience.
I think it absolutely will.
Or, well, yeah, I guess. But again, things can be different, depending on the disability you have. I don't really have a physical disability, and again, because ADHD is it's fairly common among college students and
Lehigh students, especially.
Lehigh students, yeah. What I've heard is that the first year of college will help you determine if you absolutely do have ADHD or not. I guess you could say that is somewhat true. I would say that it's true. It was true for me, because it really helped expose what I was dealing with, and it just highlighted the struggles that I was having.
Well, that was wonderful. Thank you so much, Osmar, for coming here and talking about your experience coming into Lehigh as a first year, and then nothing, and then a sophomore. Is there anything else you'd like to tell our wonderful listeners before we say goodbye?
I just want to say good luck.
That's perfect. Well, thank you all so much for listening. I have and will always be Rooster Demotte. And if I don't see you later, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Thank you for listening to Here's the Deal. If you want to discuss any ideas brought up in this podcast further, you are welcome to reach me through my guiding professor, Dr. Austin Duncan, of the College of Health at Lehigh University at awd324@lehigh.edu. Thank you.